What is up, Warshippers? SeaRaptor here, bringing you another edition of Scuttlebutt. Sorry I'm a little late with this one. My schedule is a little off this week. My work schedule might be changing. There's a possibility I'm going to have to start doing some more travel. Not yet sure how that's going to affect my video creation. We're just going to have to see how it all plays out. Still not 100% certain it's even going to happen yet. I had originally set these I was going to put these out every Thursday. I've been hitting that so far until this week, and I don't know, I might end up changing around what day I put these out on, but we'll see how it goes. So just keep your ear to the ground. I'll let you guys know what's going on. I may have to scale back the Twitch casting, but I do intend to keep up with YouTube as much as I can. So what's going on this week? Well, final round of Prinz Eitel Friedrich campaign missions are finally available. You can finally earn the ship for free. Those of you guys that have been playing through the missions for free. It involves a lot of credit grinding, though. There's about 7 or 8 tasks. They all require you to earn about 4 million credits a pop. A lot of folks trying to figure out how to optimize their time on this. If you already own PEF and you're just looking to make the money and finish everything up and kind of get the money back for the credits back for earning the ship again, my recommendation would be try and stack all those camos and flags, Gamescom and all the rest, and go run some Raptor Rescue. If you can put together a decent group and actually win some Raptor Rescue, you ought to be able to make decent credits. I haven't been able to pull this off yet. The one time I tried it, my puppy group couldn't keep the carrier alive, so you probably want a small team, even if you can just round up 3 or 4 friends and go pull that off, and maybe deal with a couple of guys out of the queue and pull it off yourselves, but give that a shot. Otherwise, looking at other ships, if you've got a Missouri, that's going to be a great way to knock out the American one. Just stacking up these camos. There's so many camos and flags now that add credits. The Wyvern flags, the old French Revolutionary camos from the beginning of the year have like a 30% credit bonus. The Gamescom camos you can get out of crates and so on. So, man, look for those ways. Dig through your economic flags and everything. Find ways to stack those bonuses up. Zulu flags are pretty easy to come by, and get that knocked out. So good luck with that. I'm still working on some Builders Trials videos. Again, it's the same 3 I've been working on. It's Azuma, Nustrashimi, and Leone. I've got the games played. I've got everything saved and ready to go. I just have not had time to sit down this week and really start piecing it all together. I do have some free time this weekend. That is my main focus. So I hope to start rolling out all of those next week, if not at least 2 of them. And I've got at least 1 replay I want to share with you guys. I haven't been doing a lot of replays on this channel, but this one was one of those games where you just shake your head at the end of it like, how in the hell did we win? And so I've got to share that one because it's just too much fun. The big news, of course, of January 2019 here for World of Warship remains the upcoming patch 0.80 with all the aircraft carrier changes. Round 2 of PTS will start this week. In fact, it will start today. By the time this video airs, it will be going on. So, guys, definitely get out there, try things out, give them your feedback. As I understand it, one of the reasons that we were delayed a week from the previous round, ordinarily they've been running 2 rounds of PTR and then a week off and then the patch. Okay, so we've already had 1 round of PTR. That was 2 weekends ago, the first full weekend in January. There wasn't anything last weekend, and so here we are. Actually, I've got my dates wrong, but either way, there's been at least 1 round. We took a week off, and now we're going into our 2nd round of testing, and the patch is supposed to be, if you believe the patch calendar, in about 10 days. I don't think you're going to get there. They've already said, the article they posted today on their website indicates there's going to be at least 1 more round of testing, and since they've gone to the 4-week development cycle, they have not been releasing patches where they have run a round of PTS, a public testing, and then literally gone to deploy the patch 3 days later. That has not happened in quite some time, pretty much for the entirety of 2018, actually. That did not happen. So I don't think you're going to see the patch the week of the I believe it was the week of the 23rd, which is when we would have expected it. I think you're going to see the patch. You're not going to see the patch any earlier than January 30th right now here on NA. That's my current guess based on how their development cycles have been running. And it may be delayed even longer than that. There's a lot of talk amongst the CCs and the community. A lot of people are just upset at the change, okay? And there's nothing you can do about that. The change is coming, whether any of us like it or want it or not. But there's quite a number of people who have been involved in the testing who basically say, guys, you need to take more time with this. It's just not ready. Zoop had a really good video earlier this week. Fairzeleth has had comments for quite some time to that extent. There's been some posts on the NA forum, some very well-written posts on the NA forum. One that I'll link below today that's gotten a lot of traffic and a lot of attention, essentially saying, guys, look, this isn't ready. Actually, the NA post today was essentially something different, and I'll cover that in a minute. But Zup and Farah and several other people have all been on the guys, this is just not ready bandwagon. And that kind of echoes some of the sentiments of myself and some of the other CCs that have all said, guys, we should take more time with this. It feels rushed. I think this weekend's going to be a critical one for the entire system, because up to this point, one of the main complaints that you keep hearing over and over and over from people who've tried it is that ship AA is just broken. It doesn't do anything. I was reading a post from one of the CCs the other day, and I think it might have been a North American CC, and I cannot remember, but talking about how they sat down on PTS and looked at the numbers, their Harugumo and their Republique, the outer AA ring on both of those ships had the same value. The range might have been different, but the value was the same. And yet, the Harugumo basically never shot down any planes, and the Republic could do a decent job of it. And they were baffled. Like, guys, what is happening here? So there's a tremendous amount of confusion and just what's really going on under the hood with the AA mechanics. So I think we're at a point now, you know, we talked to them, we've talked about how well they've communicated up to this point, how they have to keep that going. I think there's a realization that, because they've been getting a lot of this feedback from people, that there's a realization coming that they need to do a little better job of explaining the new AA mechanics, how that works, what the numbers mean, how it all comes together, and then continue to tweak those numbers through testing. You know, I said a couple of weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, when we first found out that this was coming for sure, that I was really concerned they weren't going to get this AA balance pass done before the patch. It sounds like they are, and that's great, but in my mind, it's absolutely 100% critical that they get this right. They've got to find a way for this to be, it's not going to be perfect out of the gate. They've said that, and that's fine, but it's got to be, I don't know, 65, 70% there, right? Like, the players, the big problem with CV interaction up to this point has been it's a one-way interaction, right? When I'm driving my ship and a carrier player decides he's going to attack me, it's just straight up numbers. There's very little I can do except steer around in a circle while he takes his planes and orbits me and looks for an angle, and hopefully I can shoot down a couple of them before he comes in and wipes me out, right? So the interaction is very one-sided. That's not going away. The very way that carriers work inherently means that cannot go away. The carrier will be over the horizon on the other side of the map, so possibly 30 kilometers away or something crazy, but he's attacking you. And there's nothing you can do. You can't shoot back, right? You can't attack the carrier, probably. I mean, if you can't see him. And then, you know, you're reliant on very little skill, let's be honest, very little skill, and mostly just numbers and RNG and what flags and consumables you've taken to try and what captain skills to try and get you through the experience. So the interaction right now is very one-sided. That's not changing. And they have to find a way to make it feel like, if they can, that you're not totally helpless when a carrier comes for you. I still think we have yet to see the last of some of the major big mechanics changes. I personally think we're going to see a huge change to the flooding mechanics. The flooding mechanics right now are incredibly punitive. And honestly, to some extent, I feel like they should be. It's one of the few reliable ways that lighter units, like cruisers with torpedoes and destroyers, can really punish battleships, especially heavier capital ships, especially since flooding damage is 100% repairable. So if you're a battleship and you timed your heal wrong, or timed your repair wrong, all you have to do is just stop getting shot at, hopefully, get away, back off, heal up, get back into the fight. But if the carrier, with these multiple waves of planes, the way the new torpedo bombers work, you know, they bring in a dozen, let's say, at high tier, and they attack you in 3 to 4 waves of multiple planes, sooner or later, unless we do something about the flooding mechanics, those floods are going to stick. And I think that has the potential to be a very grief-tacular problem if we don't deal with it right up front. So I still think we have more changes to see to some of the, even just the base mechanics of the game. And this is going to be a pretty sweeping change. There's just no question. We're going to touch AA, we're going to touch flooding. We might even touch the DFAA consumable by the time it's all said and done. Who knows, right? Everything is on the table, I suspect. So we're just going to have to see where it all lands. But I really think that the patch is going to be at least a week later than we expected. They told us to expect, I think, a 5-week development cycle. I really think right now you're already at 6, just because of the way the PTS schedule has lined up. The game has been going on in the background here. Was one of my better games in Duca d'Aosta in the last ranked sprint season. I played almost exclusively Duca. In the first ranked sprint we did over the holidays, I played every Tier 6 cruiser, almost every Tier 6 cruiser once, and I went 13-0. So every single cruiser in Tier 6, essentially, I played. I think I didn't play... No, did I? I don't remember. There was a couple I didn't play just because I ran out of games. I know I didn't play Pensacola. And this time I just said, you know, I want to work on my Duca. I know eventually we're going to get more Italian ships. I want to work on this captain. So I played almost exclusively Duca. And I had a bunch of really good games. There's a lot of really fun moments in this particular battle. You know, at one point we're down 2 or 3 ships, and but I flexed the hydro, the positioning. My battleship behind me is outstanding. Really heads up player. Unlike their battleship, who we kind of wiped off the board very quickly, which made a huge difference in this game, because then we were just stuck with dealing with the lighter units. And a couple of the destroyers came out where they shouldn't have, and well, that was that. I didn't have IFHE for most of the season, and I found I didn't miss it unless I got in a very battleship-heavy game. As long as I was focusing mostly on destroyers, and there were a lot of heavy destroyer games in this particular sprint, I did okay. But I did come into, late in the season, I did respec into IFHE, because I think that obviously it's 152mm guns. They really need the IFHE. So, but anyway, Duca d'Aosta, good ship. Pretty solid ship for these little ranked sprint formats if you don't own one, or if you do own one, you know, try her out. And if you don't, well, consider picking her up sometime, because I really enjoy this ship. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm going to bail out. I will catch you guys next week. And again, I apologize for the lack of content since the start of the year. I've been trying to get back to work and my feet back under me. It is coming. I did have a pretty good stream this week, and I've got everything I need to get some of these videos turned out. I've just got to sit down and make the time, and that's coming over the weekend, I think. So, all right, take care, and we will see you out there.